That's right. It's me again. Sorry. But I just wanted to congratulate everyone on the fact that now you're building like solidarity. Because before, like give it 6 months ago, you were all over the place. You didn't understand what they were offering. There's a whole bunch of things that you didn't understand. And for new people, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You should have been encouraged by somebody to read the Constitution and your collective agreement because that's going to stick with you the rest of your life at Canada Post. So, what we have now is something to build on. So, now that you're all together, you understand what solidarity is, and you understand how upset the post office is because they thought because you're all new, they could just punk you like nothing. And you'll say, "Oh, great deal. I think I'll go back in the next round and we'll bid to get those jobs back." No, they're not going to get them back. So you got a lot now. You got some knowledge. This is for the new people. The people who've been around for years know lots of stuff. But attend meetings because if you attend meetings, if you see a notice for a negotiation meeting and they're looking for people to throw out ideas for negotiation, then throw it out there. Throw it out there. Go for it. Go to the meeting and then you're part of it. But you can't say, well, I didn't know what was going on. Well, I always knew what was going on because I had a nice mentor that said, stay active. I don't think I missed a meeting. Actually, I was looking for more meetings. It was interesting because you get to get some camaraderie with people you haven't seen in a while. And when you go to seminars, you really learn. And what you learn is when the seminar is on a break, you get to meet with people from across Canada or across BC or across Ontario, wherever you live. It's a solidarity building thing, and you learn so much. And you think, well, what do I need? You need it to protect yourself. But once you got all that information, you can start helping people if you want. The whole goal is yes, but for me, I first started getting involved directly with the union to protect myself because I wasn't being protected as a part-time employee. Part-time employees were considered the temp employees of the 80s, the early 80s. So I know what you went through as a temp, same with the part-timers, except we had job security. That was the big difference, job security as in hours of work. So made a big difference. But I say congratulations to you all. And if you could please take this opportunity to read your Constitution of the Union and you'll fully understand it. You don't have to know all the legal language and stuff that's in there, but you need to know what the goals are or everything that you as a member put in there as a duty for your officer, as a paycheck for your officer. It's all in there. You don't say, oh, they're being secretive. They're not being secretive. Just like now. If they were out negotiating in public like people wanted, and here we are negotiating, the media picks up a little soundbite and goes, oh, look what they're doing. They're greedy postal workers and they're all stupid and they're all cheating you. And it just flowers from there. That's why we're that kind of union that you go under the cone of silence when you're negotiating. And if there's anything outside of the normal or if there's something coming up to vote on, you'll hear from them. But until then, you don't. They've gone there with directions from you. That's what they've gone there for. So, if they can't go outside of the framing of what you asked for in negotiation. So you don't have to say, well, they're going to sell us out. But you can't add to it unless it's right in line with what you're looking for, but just a little bit different wording. But you just can't add to it, which people thought you could. Well, let's just try this. No, it's over and done. You sent them with a what they call a framed instructions. This is what we want. Don't go outside that frame, and if you do, we want to hear about it. So that's how the negotiation works with us. There's some unions that halfway through they say, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we do it? Why don't we try this?" And they throw the idea out, and members know nothing about it. Well, that's not the way CUPW works. So if you read that, which is very simple to read, nothing complicated in the Constitution, and you will fully understand what your officers are doing, what your shop stewards are doing, what they're all like. I'm bound to silence as a shop steward. When I was a shop steward and the president and all these other positions I was bound to silence confidentiality, shall we say. And you know what? I hope my wife isn't watching this, but there's things I've never told her. And we worked in the same building. Oh, what went on at the meeting? I go, nothing, nothing. Oh, yes, it did. Well, I'm not telling you. And that's the way it went. So, didn't go over too well with her, but it went over good with me. And the members respect the fact that you keep their confidentiality and that you warn everybody, do not discuss your medical on the work floor because there's little rats, in case you've noticed by now, squeak, squeak, they're all wandering around you. You say something about, well, I guess I could be good enough to go back to work, but, and then these guys go run to the boss. You've never, and the whole thing about confidentiality, they can send you to, I guess they can sort of send you to a doctor, but when they do and he wants money, they have to pay you. They have to pay you to go there. You didn't want to go to the doctor, they did. So the doctors, these kind of meetings that they want sometimes are they want you to go get some sort of a checkup or something. I don't know. They can't. They have to pay for it. So what you tell the doctor is, well, get the money from the post office. I didn't. It wasn't me coming there. They made the appointment. I didn't. So anyhow, it depends on the severity of what's going on too, or with your confidentiality and all this sort of stuff. Some people like to just, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, they just go on and people start nattering, right? So kind of respect your own confidentiality. And the other thing, I guess, is, which I hear a little bit of, is the letter carriers that have kind of burned herself out over a few years, saying, okay, well, now I can just go and do a clerk's job. Well, that ain't going to happen. That is, maybe 20 years ago, you could have slipped in there. But right now, there's, with the cutbacks and with the job description, it's not a light duty job. Clerks do heavy work. And if you can't do the letter carrier work, you certainly can't do the clerk work in the plant. So this is what happens when you say, well, they can't get me on the clerk side, and you get all upset. Well, there's a lot of rules that go with that too, and that's federal, national, regional. I'm not talking the union. I'm talking Canada Post, the duty to accommodate, the Human Rights Commission, all kinds of stuff in there. So watch that stuff. But anyhow, best thing you can do now is really just ignore the supervisor that stabbed you in the back. Bunch of backstabbing bastards. That's what they do. They lie to you. Like the one person on this CupW site that said, oh, he said, well, you can give up something, but you can negotiate for it later. That's the biggest bunch of garbage you ever heard. Once you lose something, it's gone. That's it. If you said, well, I'll give up my lunch for now. Okay. Well, we'll get it back the next time. Then before you know it, you don't get a lunch. You got to eat while you're working. So there's all kinds of things. But anyhow, I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations on doing that, and that shows solidarity. I don't know what the percentage was, but it's showing solidarity, and that's where you start and build on that. Be nice to each other at work. Maybe you don't like people. There's people that don't like you. Just be nice to each other at work, because you all have one thing in common. You're all postal workers. That's the one thing you got solidarity with. Maybe you don't like them when you see them on the street and you walk the other side of the street. Who cares? But when you're at work, they are your brothers and sisters in battle with this stuff. So be nice to each other. Be nice to someone with disabilities. Be nice to people that have problems. Be nice to, you don't know what their day's like before they got into work. They come into work and they're kind of a little rude and you get mad. You don't know what their day was before they got to you. So be nice to each other. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Just wanted to get into that, telling you that what a great job that was on the negotiations. Canada Post thought it was going to be a downhill slide. Oh, they thought they had it in the bag. They had all these bulletins to your house and your phone and everywhere else. And the phone, I never gave them my phone number. I gave them my house phone number, but not my cell phone number. If they want my cell phone number so they can contact me while I'm working, they can pay for it, and I can get a tax deduction for it too, if anything's over the amount. So they can pay for the basic service. If they're not, then they don't get my cell phone number. What did they do before there were cell phones? What did they do? They went out and found you on the street. If you're on the street, they're going, oh my God, some emergency come up, I need you to do another route. They come out and find you. That's what they did. So this whole cell phone thing is just a big farce. It was just an excuse so they could contact you while you're out there working. That's what they wanted. Because they're too lazy to get up on their lazy ass, hop in a car, paid for by the corporation, and go hunt you down and tell you what they need to tell you. So you know what? They want that privilege, pay for it. Pay my basic phone bill. You don't have to pay my over stuff. You pay my basic phone bill and you can call me anytime you want. And they said, no. I said, well then, you're not getting my phone number. Too bad. You want me? Find me. Anyhow, you have a wonderful day, and a big thanks out to the national officers and your shop stewards and everybody that's poured their heart into this. It's not over yet, but the worst has already happened. So you can only get better from there. The arbitrators, if you're getting thrown in front of an arbitrator, at this point they know what you don't want. They know what the post office is looking for. And I mean, it seems to be unreal what the post office wants. So this Canada Post did not want this. This is probably the only time they didn't want to be sitting in front of an arbitrator or some labor relations kind of big shot. Anyhow, have a nice day and enjoy the rest of the summer. Solidarity.